Are there mathematical miracles in the Quran? The chemist and later Imam Rashid Khalifa claimed in 1974 that the Quran contains a mathematical code based on the number 19. This code is that complex that it would have been impossible for humans to put it there on purpose. Therefore, the Quran is of divine origin. This theory was published in many popular magazines in Muslim countries and is still propagated. The 19ers state that the 19 can be found everywhere in nature. It is therefore a universal code of the world. Some examples used are: every 19 years the sun, the moon and the earth are in the same position to each other. Halley's comet returns every 76 years, which is 4 times 19. The human skeleton consists of 209 bones, that is 11 times 19. The human pregnancy lasts for 266 days, that is 14 times 19. What is to say about these claims? The 19-year cycle exists. It is 19 years and 2 days, but that is pretty close. There are a lot of numbers concerning the movement of sun, moon and earth that are not divisible by 19 though. For example, days in a month, days in a year, month in a year, cycles in which eclipses occur, like the Saros cycle. Halley's comet returns every 76 years and 37 days, also quite close. But what about other comets? Encke has a period of 3.3 years, Tempel 1, 5.5, Whipple 7.5, Olbers 69.5, Cromlin 27.89, Temple Tuttle 32.92, Chiron 50.7. There's a lot of comets more, so it is quite likely that some of them show up in a period divisible by 19. The human skeleton? No, I'm sorry. The skeleton of newborn children consists of more than 300 bones and gristles. Several of them grow together afterwards. The skeleton of an adult consists of 206 bones, or 208 according to other sources, but nobody mentions 209. The human pregnancy? No objection here. Just one remark: it's only around 4% of children that are born on the day that is calculated this way. Well, I think I can do a better job. Let us take the 23. The Earth's axis is tilted at 23 degrees. Well, actually it's 23.5 degrees, so no need to count this as a hit. Homo sapiens have 23 pairs of chromosomes. There are 23 discs in the human spine. According to biorhythm theory, everyone has a 23-day physical cycle. The world's fastest human can run at average 23 miles per hour in the 100-meter dash. The top speed of an American crow is also 23 miles per hour. In a room of just 23 people, a greater than 50% chance exists that 2 of the people will share a common birthday. Archbishop Usher argued that the world was created on Sunday, the 23rd October 4004 BC. The word hell is found 23 times in the King James Version of the New Testament. The Holy Book Quran was revealed in a total of 23 years to Prophet Muhammad. There are 23 definitions in Book 1 of Euclid's Elements. If we want to find some more 23s, I suggest reading the Illuminatus trilogy by Robert Shear and Robert Anton Wilson. Now, how does it work? If you look through a big pile of numbers, you will find any number you look for. And so far I did not even look for multiples of 23. But even if the 19 plays no special role in nature, maybe it does in the Quran. Some of the coincidences that are claimed to be part of the mathematical miracle of the Quran are: the Quran consists of 114 chapters, which is 6 times 19. It has 6,396 verses, which is 334 times 19. There are 19 words in the last chapter and 19 letters in the first. There are 2,689 times Allah in the Quran, which is 142 times 19. The word Quran is mentioned 57 times in the Quran, which is 3 times 19. The sum of all verse numbers which contain the word Allah is 118,123, which is 6,219 times 19. 19 times we find the phrase one God. 19 times we find the word angel. The word day occurs 365 times in the Quran, and the plural days is 7 times in the Quran. So the occurrences of the word day add up to the number of days in a year, and the occurrences of the word days add up to the number of the days in a week. How is this possible? Well, some of the claims are just plain false, as the number of times the word Allah occurs in the Quran. It is not 2,698, but it's 2,811 times. This recount was done by the South African Muslim Digest and was published in 1986. If this is true, the sum of verse numbers which contain the word Allah should also be wrong. Other words can be counted in different ways, for example the word day. Unfortunately, I cannot check this critic because I don't speak Arab. If you do, please check out the references in the sidebar. According to these sources, suffixes can be added to Arabic nouns by joining noun and the following personal pronoun, for example. Khalifa now included some of these joined words to his count, while he discarded others. So he could count 365 days. This is surprisingly enough, since the Muslim year does not have 665 days like the Western year, but 354 days. But even if we exclude these false claims, some coincidences remain. To explain this, we have to have a look on the mathematics. If we have a random number, the chance that it is divisible by 19 is 1/19, or 5.3%. Which numbers are used by Khalifa and others who look for the 19 in the Quran? It's the number of surahs, the total number of verses, the number of verses in a surah, the number of words in a surah. Sometimes words that are joined as a noun and a pronoun are counted as one, and sometimes as two words. Also, the number of words in a verse, the number of letters in a surah, the number of letters in a verse, the number of times a particular letter appears in a surah or verse, the geometrical value of a surah. You get this geometrical value when you assign a value to each letter and add these. And finally, as far as I can tell, the geometrical value of a verse. I cannot even tell how many numbers these are. It must be thousands. Oh, I forgot the number of times a particular word occurs in the Quran in total, or in a surah or in a verse. Now, if you add some of these numbers as Khalifa did, you'll get a lot more to work with. It is time-consuming, but not very difficult to look through the resulting billions and billions of numbers that will be divisible by 19, to try to interpret them, and to come up with a relationship that looks if it was meaningful. Now, if you just present the findings, and not the tons of numbers that do not fit your needs, the result should be very impressive. But it is certainly no miracle.